George Bruno with the 21 Report. We are at the 21 Summit in Orlando, Florida. The year is 2020, and I'm having a conversation with Mr. Jeff Putnam. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
How did your talk go? You were on stage recently, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes ago. It was good. It's the first time I've ever done public speaking on a mass scale, but I have a lot of kids, so kind of the same thing, you know. But it went faster than I thought it would go, and it was not nearly as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. I'll definitely be doing that again. That was fun.
That's great. Now, when you say a lot of kids, what's a lot of kids?
I have 9.
You have 9 children.
With the same woman, so that's very old school.
So you have like a high notch count with the same woman.
Yeah, I can prove that I did it 9 times.
Yeah, that's great. What did you speak on?
I spoke a little bit on setting yourself on fire. All right, it's a metaphor that I use. Everybody loves the parable of the phoenix, right? They talk about how much they want to rise from the ashes. They always forget about the part that the phoenix has to die first. So there's a part of you that you don't like. There's a part of you that you don't want to pass on to your children as part of your legacy, and you have to kill that person. You have to set yourself on fire and burn it all down if you want to rise from the ashes. And so that was the premise of my speech, was you have to do that if you want to start a legacy, because not a lot of people came from a good background. And they're like, well, my father was a drunk or absent or whatever. I didn't have a dad, so as far as I'm concerned, I am the beginning and end of my family legacy. I'm the head of the family tree. I'm at the top. Everything that comes after me is good.
Remind me of Coach EO when he says it begins and starts with the man. It begins and starts with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. What is the breakdown of gender with your children?
8 boys, 1 girl.
8 boys and 1 girl.
And I'm grateful for that.
Why?
8 girls would probably kill me. I can't even lie. She's a handful all her own, and it's great because she's got 7 older brothers, 1 younger brother, and she's fearless. She's rough and tumble, climbing trees, but if you raise your voice to her, she's in tears.
Yeah.
And so the dichotomy between raising 8 boys before she came, or 7 boys before she came along,
Yeah.
It was kind of an eye-opener.
How old is the oldest? How old is the youngest?
My oldest is 21, and my youngest is 5. So I've kept that poor woman pregnant for 20 years.
Wow. Is she still smiling?
And walking.
Great answer. I like that. Any more kids coming?
No. I want more, but feasibly, it's just not in the cards.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a good run. Now we're looking forward to grandkids. We like taking in our neighbors' kids and our friends, or our kids as friends. You know, we take them in and they pretty much move in with us for a few hours. They come in the house and there's a different kid there.
That's great. Talk about your speech. Guide us through the steps of setting yourself on fire.
Well, I wasn't always a good father. I wasn't always a good husband. Wasn't always a good man. You know, I didn't have, anything major, but I just wasn't the best that I could be. And I didn't want to be that. You know, there was a period where we lost everything because of my stupid decision with the job, and we ended up homeless. And so my kids, one day they came to me when we were living in a motel, and my kids said, "Dad, I promise we'll be good if we can have our toys back." They thought they were being punished. That's why they didn't have anything. And that kind of, that was the moment, that I was too chicken to eat a bullet, but I couldn't stay where I was, so I just had to start moving. And I finally got settled. I finally got another job and we got a place to live. But I was just kind of zoned in on, I'll never let the homeless happen again. So I neglected time with my wife. I neglected time with my kids. All I cared about was making sure that they were never homeless again. But I was still the dad that came home from work tired and sat down. That's the only image they had of me. And my wife, bless her heart, she was driving the relationship. She was leading the house, holding onto the steering wheel, white-knuckled, because she couldn't rely on me to lead. So I had to step up to be the guy to pry her hands off the steering wheel and say, babe, I got this. Sit down.
How does a man communicate that to his woman who has stepped up to the plate? How do you act out, honey, I got this? What do you do?
Well, one of the things I said in my speech is women have this very annoying superpower where they can remember every little thing, but every little thing gets assigned a hidden value, right? For example, it's kind of like that drill sergeant. Well, you can't fold your underwear? Oh, I guess that means you can't repel the enemy with a machine gun. Completely unrelated, but that doesn't matter in the mind of a woman. The number one thing that I had to do, and that I told the guys that were listening to my speech, is become reliable. Your word is your vow, even if it's to us trivial and insignificant. Because the little things, they compound, and it creates a pattern that your wife or your girlfriend or your children, that they'll see, and they assign, this means this now. So and it's the simple stuff. I'm going to fix the sink this weekend. I'm going to take you out on Friday. I'm going to play catch with you tomorrow. It gets to where your word means nothing. But if you start taking it seriously and you never say you're going to do anything unless you're going to do it, it starts creating new patterns. And the people that you love and the people you care about and the people you're charged with providing for and protecting and presiding over, they start to see that new pattern forming. And it's not a quick fix. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, I'm only 7 years out of being homeless now. And so it's still a steady process, but my relationship with my wife and my relationship with my children has improved so much that I'm grateful every single day that I didn't just quit. But that's the number one step. You just start being reliable. No one's going to follow you if you're not worth following. You don't want to work for a bad boss. They're not going to want to follow a bad husband or a bad father.
Yeah. Let's switch gears.
Sure.
A couple things here. You have a company.
Yes, I do.
That is called Rugged Legacy Grooming Supply. Tell me about that.
Well, Rugged Legacy Grooming Supply, it's a men's grooming company that centers around the man who is not afraid to be who he is, right? I know you remember when P&G and Gillette had the toxic masculinity commercial, right? And it received so much flack. Rugged Legacy was born as sort of a response to that, right? Men shouldn't be competitive. Yeah, they should. That's how they get better. Men shouldn't be strong. Yeah, they should. That's how they protect. And so Rugged Legacy became, I guess, an archetype of the ideal of a man of yesterday that needs to be brought back to today. Like one of my products, for example, is called the Frontiersman, all right? And I've always been fascinated by the explorers. Now, if you go in my office, I have a picture of the Endurance, which was Ernest Shackleton's ship in 1915 that got trapped in the ice. Incredible story. And then there's a front picture of the moon landing, right? There's Teddy Roosevelt. And anytime I want to just stop or quit, I think about the grit that those men had, that they had to have. And not enough men today have that grit. And I wanted, and a lot of that is because they get shamed for it. And I guess Rugged Legacy, in a way, was a way of telling them that it's okay to be that guy. It's okay to be Teddy Roosevelt. It's okay to be Neil Armstrong. It's okay to be, you know, the captain of the Nightingale or a crew on the Endurance. It's okay. You know, be who you are. And I wanted it to be something that was very accessible to every man. So I made sure that the products were for those guys who feel like they're held hostage under fluorescent lights and they long and they can feel it in their bone marrow to escape, you know, to the wilderness with their hiking boots on the weekend when they can finally take off the tie. You know, as well as the average Joe who You know, the blue-collar man, which is what I'll always be, no matter what happens with my company. He's uncelebrated, he's unsung, but he's a hero because he's the guy that keeps America going, you know. You're like, well, you know, these guys in Silicon Valley, you know, they propel all the tech. Yeah, but somebody had to build the towers. Somebody had to turn that dirt. And so those guys get forgotten. And then those guys get attacked for being men by P&G and Gillette. Mm-hmm. Celebrate those guys. And so that it just grew from there.
Mm-hmm. We have a couple things in common, and we'll go back to Rugged Legacy in a little bit. And at the end, I'm going to have you direct the audience to where that is. A couple things that you and I have in common are beards and pipes.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of guys who watch this just because of beards and pipes. Tell me about your beard.
Well, what do you want to know? I know it was when I was on the flight here, it got interrogated for an hour by TSA because it just didn't fit the bill. I guess it looked suspicious. I don't know. I look to my ancestors for a lot of things. You know, is what I'm doing today going to make them proud, right? And historically, there was a demarcation between adolescence and manhood, and that was the ability to grow a beard. But for me, it's a little more than that. I grow a beard because, one, I can. I like it. I look good with a beard. I don't have a weak chin, but it's just a piece of what I am, not who I am. My beard doesn't define me. I'm the same man without the beard. I don't want people to get that mixed up. There's a big difference between, you know, people saying, well, the beard makes the man. It doesn't. But I embrace every single thing I can about being a man. All right? And as part of that, my beard grows long and free.
I like that. Women are known for saying, I can do anything a man can do. And I said, no, you can't. You can't grow a beard. It is
some.
Distinctly masculine, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. How long have you been growing it?
This one is about 8 months. I got aggravated trying to trim it one day and lopped a side off and had to start over.
Did you shave it down or just buzz it short?
I buzzed it on a 0 down to where I had to scruff.
Okay. Yeah.
Let that come back in.
Yeah. How does your wife like it?
At first, she was, you need to shave that. And now, after the last time I messed up trimming it, she goes, why? Why did you shave it? Put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one of those moments where my daughter didn't recognize me being clean shaven.
Yeah.
And it terrified her for a good hour until she realized it was me. So I just made a decision at that point that I would never see my chin again.
Yeah. Yeah. And beards get softer as you grow them longer.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, they're rough. And I'm like, after a certain point, they become soft.
Yeah.
When they get length, they're not.
Well, especially if you're using good products. Hint, hint.
Yeah. Do you use your own products on your own beard?
Of course.
What is your beard routine? You get out of the shower, what do you do?
Towel dry, just by squeezing it out, you know, not anything rough. I don't want to damage it. I just let it air dry for a little bit. I take a little fingerful of Rugged Legacy Beard Balm, nice, and spread it open, get it melted on my hands, run it through, comb it out, fluff it up, go kill a bear.
Yeah. That's what we want to do with our beards.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Pipes. You walked in with a pipe.
I did.
Tell me about your pipe hobby, pipe smoking.
You know, I never smoked pipes. For the longest time, I smoked cigarettes, and every now and then I would have a cigar. But obviously, cigarettes was terrible. You know, I'm not the guy that smokes a cigar all day like some of the guys I've met. I guess I just wanted the habit at first, and I, seen your content. You had a pipe. A couple of the guys here had a pipe that are speakers, and you know what? I think I'm going to try a pipe, and now I can't go anywhere without my pipe. You know, I guess I'm symbiotic. My pipe lives for me. I live for my pipe, as it were. But I don't know. It's a very masculine hobby, and I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head, but I tend to write better, produce better content if I've got a pipe in my mouth, and birds chirping. I'm sitting there on my front porch with my feet propped up. There's something about it.
I was just telling someone it's a tool for the soul. A man contemplates and thinks when he smokes a pipe.
It's similar to when we stroke our beards, when we're just talking.
Same
You know, the same thing. You grab your pipe and you sit there and you can contemplate a little deeper. At least it looks like you are anyway.
Beards and pipes. Very interesting. Do you have a favorite brand?
Of pipe?
Yeah.
Peterson.
Yeah, great brand.
Yeah. The one I have sitting over here, it's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde. It's the rustic finish on one side, smooth finish on the other. I like that. I felt
Almost a metaphor for so many different things in life.
I was thinking, you know, every man has this dark side. In my speech, I spoke about the duality of man.
Yeah.
And the duality of man is that there is a capability and a capacity for unmitigated carnage lying just beneath the surface while you sip tea with your daughter at her little tea party with your pinky out. But you always have that other side that you can bring out if necessary.
Yeah. What is your favorite pipe tobacco?
Well, I honestly don't know what brand it is, but there's a local shop where I live, and I think they make their own blends there, but it's a Virginia, and it's called Very Cherry. It's beautifully aromatic, and it's one that my wife can tolerate in the car. So, but I am very partial to a non-aromatic called Daybreak.
My favorite. That's my absolute
That's another
favorite.
thing we have in common.
And that's my
Haunted Bookshop's not bad, but it's a little too punchy, I guess.
Yeah,
would be
it
the
is.
word.
Yeah. My Daybreak show that I do every day on my YouTube channel is named after the tobacco, Daybreak tobacco, believe it or not. And Haunted Bookshop is it's a very strong blend. It's a very strong blend. I'll never forget the first time I bought a tin of it. I smoked it, and I had a bowl. I was out in the garage or a shed or something, and then I got up and I'm like, whoa, and I sat back down. I'm like, okay, this is going to require me to be sitting here for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I will never, ever do that again. About a month later, I bought a pound of it in bulk.
That's how it goes. Yeah. I started with a pipe thinking this will be just an occasional thing. I'll step out onto the porch, but I have this routine every morning. I get up at 3:45. I go to the gym with my son, come back, and then I sit on the porch. I don't care if it's cold for an hour and a half, just smoking a pipe, chilling, listening to the birds, and watching the sun
Drink
come up.
coffee?
Always.
All right, so do you drink coffee and smoke a pipe?
Yes.
Okay.
Black.
They kind of go hand in hand.
They really do. They complement each other.
We're overdosing in like man stuff here.
This is
Beards,
actually
pipes.
my father.
Son, it's so good to interview you.
Thanks, Pop.
Beards, pipes, coffee. Yeah, we're hitting it all.
Yeah.
How long you been smoking a pipe?
Maybe 6 months now, 7 months.
Yeah,
Feels like it's just a part of
yeah,
me now.
yeah. It's more than just a little hobby now, right? It's
Yeah, I made the joke the other day because I'm now fully self-employed. And so I get to sit on my porch in my sweater with my pipe and my coffee and watch everybody else on my street go to work.
and wear a tweed cap.
And I wear a tweed.
Again, another.
I wear a tweed cap with, my chunky sweater and good bowl of smoke and a hot cup of coffee. And
You're ready to go be a ship captain somewhere.
Yes. Actually, Jack Donovan and I did a photo shoot Friday, and he said, "You're going to be very easy to photograph." I was like, "No, why?" He goes, "You're already a sailor. You're in character. We'll just go with that."
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun.
What does your wife think of your pipe smoking?
It depends on the blend. If it's a bad blend, the non-aromatic, she's not a big fan of.
Yeah.
But as long as it's the fruity, sweet aromatic, she'll tolerate it.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it getting in the house, which that's fine. I don't smoke in the house. Period. It's my house. I
Yeah.
don't want it to smell like
Yeah.
that. My office already smells like cigars and scotch, so that's enough.
Wait, beards, pipes,
And Macallan
Pipes.
and 12-year-old Macallan.
tweed caps, and scotch. I mean, they're getting a man overdose in this in this conversation.
Yeah, I said, you're almost a caricature. No, I just started finding stuff I liked.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. I noticed that there are certain blends when I smoke. Well, the thing with pipes is this. A lot of the pipe and pipe tobacco aficionados, there's certain terms. There's the tin note, when you first open up a tin or a bag of tobacco and how it smells, the tin note. And then there's the room note of how it smells as you're smoking it. How does it make the room smell? And then I came up with a term called the beard note, because your beard takes on...
And it's always right here in the mustache.
Yeah.
It's not so much here.
Yeah.
It's here.
But you kind of like...
And if you...
You can enjoy it for a day.
Yeah, you purse your lip up a little bit and... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this one right now is honey and vanilla.
Yeah.
I'm kicking on that, so...
Does your wife ever sniff your beard?
I wouldn't say she does intentionally, but, you know, I lean in for a kiss, she has to.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't lean in. That's a joke.
Yeah. How do you light your pipe? With a lighter, with a match? What do you...
If it's not windy, but I live in upstate South Carolina where it's just breezy all the time, I'll use a wood match. Or, in normal occasion, I just carry a lighter.
Yeah. Okay. Do you smoke your pipe alone? Is it a solo activity for you?
I mean, I'll be smoking throughout the day. So sometimes I'm just sitting there by myself on the porch. Sometimes I'm riding down the road with my wife. I get a lot of looks, though. People will stop me at a red light and be like, hey, I like that pipe. Thank you, stranger. You know, but you know, most of the time it's just me sitting, thinking.
Yeah.
Or doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something to kind of fill the brooding that a man can do, I guess, or when he's trying to think, or definitely if I'm trying to come up with content, you know, or trying to wrap my head around a different concept that I haven't fully brought to grasp yet.
Why is it no other activity stimulates contemplation like pipe smoking? I'm not sure what's happening there, but I know I use pipe smoking as a way to stimulate thought, creativity, imagination, and I also use it to wind down my day to relax when I don't want to think about anything.
I don't know. I think there is some connection between men and nicotine in general. I don't know if it's on a molecular level or not. But if you look at the great creatives, you look at Hemingway, you look at Melville, you know, you look at really anyone, the old ad guys like the Mad Men types, they're coming up with these brilliant ads and they're always smoking a cigarette or a pipe.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a nootropic, right? And a stimulant. But you know how they say if you eat or chew, if you chew gum while you're learning, if you chew gum when you're trying to remember it, it's easier to remember. It could be connected that way.
Yeah.
You know, if I was trying to learn it while I'm smoking a pipe and then the next time I'm smoking a pipe, hey, I'll remember that. Because it's maybe a habit association.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you Google pipe smoking authors, you'll get pictures of all the different great writers while they're at a typewriter with a pipe in their mouth, and it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And you know what's interesting is, you know how like smoking is taboo now, like cigarette smoking. And you go to the doctor and they say, do you smoke? I don't consider pipe smoking smoking.
I don't either. And believe it or not, life insurance companies don't.
Yeah.
I told a life insurance company just recently, before I opened up another policy, about my pipe habit. And they go, okay, and they put me on as classic non-tobacco policy. Well, okay then.
You don't inhale, do you?
No.
You just puff.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me.
But it's nice though.
Yeah,
Nice and relaxing.
absolutely. Let's go back to Rugged Legacy.
Sure.
What kind of products do you have?
Well, we started off with 12 products, and they were our kind of a flagship line, which was 3 different beard balms, 3 different mustache waxes, 3 different solid colognes, and those are extremely popular, and 3 different pomades. But since then, as of November last year, we graduated into body wash, beard conditioner, salt scrubs. Got one of those for men and women, so ladies can jump on that. beard oils, hair oils for women, body lotions, and of course we've got some bundle packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you make these products and do all the fulfillment yourself? What?
No, absolutely not. I started doing that.
Yeah. Melting beeswax in the kitchen and
Ruining
that's how
my
a lot-
wife's kitchenware.
Yeah.
Yeah, did that.
Yeah.
But no, I have a fully stocked and reliable manufacturer, a shipper, a warehouse. I'm hands off from my business now, except for owning it. It's 100% automated, and it's doing pretty well. We're
Nice.
actually working with NASCAR. I actually have to meet with some NASCAR executives next weekend,
Nice.
and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see a Rugged Legacy car.
Yeah. That'll be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
What other things could you sponsor with Rugged Legacy? I mean, NASCAR is pretty big. Are
Yeah.
there other ideas that you had?
I don't know. I just know it can't be a sissified thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if it does, and if they make money off of the sissified brand, then they're going to lose money as soon as they get manned up a little bit with Rugged Legacy.
Right, right. What are your thoughts about the 21 Summit, the 21 Convention so far?
I think it's incredible. I recorded a podcast this morning for my podcast, incidentally, the Rugged Legacy podcast, with Zach Small this morning. And we were talking about, you can see it in the eyes of the attendees that they were hungry for some sort of a connection with other men because, brotherhood is now frowned upon, right? Why do you need a bunch of guy friends? What's wrong with you? That kind of thing, or, oh, look, it's a group of girls. Just shaming men for wanting camaraderie and brotherhood.
Yeah.
And I've watched attendees will come up and just, hey, can I sit with you? And I sit there, and they're sitting there at my table with me, and they're just telling me about, hey, I've loved your content online, I've loved this, I love your products, or some of them don't even know I have products, right? And we just have a conversation for 20 minutes, and there's a bond there. I remember the guy's name, I remember he's got 2 kids, a wife, and a dog, and you see these happening with the other attendees with each other. They're making connections with people they've never met before. And they're building these bonds where now they have a network of people that may have the same kind of problems they have and they can relate to and they can, bounce those things off of. And it's beautiful because men, especially today, are hungry for a brotherhood of other men. And it doesn't have to be, something like what we have with Zach Small and Craig James's group, the Fraternity of Excellence. I am a proud member. But you can just get a group of guys to go to the park and do nothing. I guarantee you within 10 minutes you're going to be seeing who can hit that tree with that rock, and you're going to break in conversation,
Yeah.
and you're going to start building bonds that you've needed. And I'm seeing those things happening here.
Yeah.
Because I guess the reason for the convention is just to bring them here because, yeah, we have fun on stage. But the magic happens in the side conversations by the pool over, a glass of whiskey or a pipe or a cigar.
How many of those guys smoke a pipe?
In the fraternity?
Yeah. Is that a thing? Do a
The
lot of
ones
guys-
that are here, it's all but a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that's just part of the brand image or not.
Yeah. Very interesting. I like to view things through the lens of hope, positivity, and optimism. And that was a intentional change that I made to the 21 report a couple years ago. And when you view things through the lens of hope, positivity, and optimism, the goal is that you're going to be speaking hope, positivity, and optimism. Have you encountered those 3 things at this event?
Oh, yeah. Between Tanner Guzzi and Ivan Throne, I don't think I've ever felt like, I don't know, it was on a different level of existence. Ivan is probably one of the most intense human beings that you can ever, watch speak.
Yeah.
But 20 minutes prior to his speech, I was having lunch with him and his wife, and the energy was completely different. But when they get on that stage,
Yeah.
and they're drilling into you that you can make it better, no matter what it is, but you need to start,
Yes.
right? Of course, there's always that element of work involved in it. But, and that and Tanner Guzzi's aspirational fatherhood speech, the keynote, oh man. you see what it means to them, and you realize what it actually means to you that you may have been rationalizing or trying to find some justification for throwing under the rug. And you know that it's possible once you see other guys here with the same things, and you're like, I can do this. And so these people are going to get to take home hope that even if their situation's not all that great right now, or even if it's perfect, that they can either make it better or be able to maintain the level of perfection that they've had because they've got new insights and new strategies for any other obstacles that could come their way. They're not going to leave here thinking, I'm a loser. They're going to say here, Lincoln, this is just one step of many that's going to lead me to greatness. You know, I started Rugged Legacy in my kitchen. I didn't think I was ever...
Very humble beginnings, huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't in a boardroom.
No, I started Rugged Legacy and joined Twitter in January of 2019. It's not even 2021 yet, and...
What advice would you give someone who wants to start a business?
I've got a couple, because I do online business coaching as well. One, there's no such thing as a saturated market, okay? Think about water, think about coffee. There's thousands of brands, and people keep putting them out, and people keep buying them. A saturated market is a proven market, all right? So you don't need to create something new. Mm-hmm. You just need to create something that's already being sold and put your own spin on it, all right? That's one. Second, you will get out of your business what you put into it. Now, I took every last dime of our savings, to the chagrin of my wife, and spent it all on everything trying to get Rugged Legacy started. You have to put skin in the game. I'm not saying blow your 401k on it, unless it's big enough that you need to. But if you don't put skin in the game, then it's never going to achieve what you want it to achieve. You can't play it safe. Because entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. You either have it or you don't, right? And I don't do it because I make more money now. I don't. I live the exact same kind of life I did when I worked at 9 to 5, right? That might change in the future as the business grows.
There's still food on the table.
Yeah, lights are on, bills are paid, food's on the table, nobody's wanting anything, right? I can still send my wife shopping. Same lifestyle as I had before. But I enjoy my life so much more now because I only answer to me.
Yeah.
It's that level of freedom.
Yeah.
I wake up and I don't have to sit in traffic or shuffle my way as some drone to the time clock and then ask permission to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what it is for me. And some people, you know, they have those exact same freedoms working from home, but for someone else, right? The tricky part of being an entrepreneur and the best part of being an entrepreneur is not having anyone to tell you what to do. You know, some people can be a self-starter and say, well, now I'm going to do this, this, and this, or some people need someone to give them a bit of direction to figure out which one you are before you even start.
You've heard the story of the employee that saw his boss pull in a Lamborghini.
Yes.
And he said, wow, that's a really nice car. And the boss said, well, if you come to work every day, give 110%, be totally dedicated to what you do, I'll be able to get a new one next year.
Yep. Yeah, I love that one too. But I mean, there's a certain freedom in being your own boss, and it's kind of empowering. At the same time, there's not a single day that goes by that I'm not stressed out. There's not a single day that goes by where I'm like, this bubble's gonna pop.
Yeah.
So it's an unbelievable amount of pressure, but that's who I am, right? I take pressure and I light it on fire, and then I rise up from it. You know, men grow in a crucible.
Yes.
If you're not in some kind of crucible, you're not going to grow. So that's why I'm here.
Beards, pipes, tweed caps, making babies, starting a business. A conversation with Jeff Putnam from Rugged Legacy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.